Hi everyone, I'm Liana from Division 26D, and I am just one of the 7 LTGs, along with our 4 committee advisors that make up the wonderfully wonderful membership committee. Our 7 LTGs are myself, Sarah from Division 13, Ruth from Division 15B, our committee chair Yasmin from Division 14A, Zach from Division 14B, Marcel from Division 19B, and Sierra from Division 2A. We could never forget our committee advisors. These are our executive advisor, Ariana, Mr. Sam, Miss Alice, and Mr. Oso. If there are any questions or concerns that you have after the episode, any questions related to membership development or club growth as a whole, please feel free to contact us and we'll be more than eager to help you guys. You can contact us at membershipcommittee@floridakeyclub.org. And I'll pass it over to Marcel now, who will lead us into our icebreaker. Thanks, guys.
Hey guys, so our icebreaker today is going to be Key Club Trivia. So put the first question up. Okay, so what city was the first Key Club founded in? So to answer this question, you can either unmute yourself or type it in the chat. I'll give you a clue. It is a state capital on the West Coast. So
Sacramento?
Yeah, you are right. It is Sacramento, California. The first Key Club was founded at Sacramento High School, obviously in Sacramento. So good job, really good job. Question 2, what are the branches of the Kiwanis family other than Key Club? So unmute yourself, type in the chat. If you only know one, just type it in the chat. If you know all of them, just go for it.
Isn't it Builders Club, Circle K, and K Kids, right?
You are missing one. You're actually missing 2. So yes, Action Club is one of them. Good job though. So yeah, in total, it is K Kids, which is elementary school kids, Builders Club, which is middle school kids, Key Club, obviously, high school kids, CKI, which is college kids, and then Action Club, which is people that are over 18 with disabilities, and then Kiwanis, which is adults. So question number 3, what are the 4 official core values of Key Club? If you've ever gotten an email from your LTG, they have these at the bottom of their signatures. I know I do. So
leadership, personal growth, inclusiveness, and compassion.
You got 2 of them right. The other ones, you were pretty close. So anybody else has any idea what these other 2 are? Character what?
Character building.
Yes, character building is one of our core values. A lot of people overlook that one. And the last one, she was close. Caring, yes. So in total, it is leadership, character building, caring, and inclusiveness. So those are the 4 official core values. So question number 4 is, what is the oldest district in Key Club International? Florida, yeah, Florida. The Florida district was the first official district, even though the first Key Club was founded in California. It was founded in 1939, the same year that World War II began. So that is interesting, and I think almost 100 years of service. Question number 5, who is the current president of International Key Club? They just got elected at Summer Leadership Conference. Yes, Salma El-Deeb. You may know her because she was an international trustee and her home district is Florida. She is representing Florida, so she is an international president from our district, which is very nice. And that's it for the icebreaker. Thank you all for the participating, and hope you had fun.
All right, everyone. So now we're going to transition into a little bit of the more informational section of today's membership matinee episode. And we're going to begin with a brief definition of membership retainment. So what is membership retainment? In a nutshell, membership retainment involves ensuring that key clubbers remain active members throughout all high school grade levels. Two key points of that definition are active members and throughout all grade levels. And so to begin, we want to describe sort of what an active member would look like in Key Club. These are the type of members that we're really going for this year. An active member, first of all, will attend all club meetings. One thing that I know most of our officer teammates might notice is that over time, usually membership in all the meetings starts to diminish, and that's something that we really want to combat this year. Secondly, active members always participate in multiple service projects. When we have these very large projects with multiple clubs, it's really important that we get as many members out there as possible, and the ones who do are considered the most active. Thirdly, they communicate with the officers. If there's something wrong, if there's an idea that they have, these active members will make sure to bring it up so that everybody's made aware and that everybody's on the same page. More on communication in just a little bit. And finally, an active member demonstrates enthusiasm. We can't just have members who show up at Key Club without the real spirit of service. Moreover, and this is a little bit important, members must continue their activity all year. Often we'll have members who will show up in the club and become very, very active in the first few weeks, but over time, maybe when school gets a little more challenging, or they might get a little bit bored, their activity within the club starts to go down. And that's something, again, that we want to combat. So not only within a year, we should have continued activity, but throughout all 4 years of high school. And now we're going to describe why we should retain members. We just sort of described what it is. Now we're going to explain the meaningfulness of why we should retain members. And the first part is that they may become next year's board. I know a lot of you who might be attending today are members of your club's officer team. And this is really important membership retainment because oftentimes it's difficult to find successors, especially if your Key Club is really, really small. And so by having active members, you'll have people who are already familiar with the Key Club system and who will make very great officers most likely. The second facet is that they ensure the longevity of Key Club because once we get all these members, as we talked about in our first episode, membership recruitment, we have to make sure that they stay active. And by doing so, we make sure that Key Club will stay a very vital club in your school over time. If we get members whose activity diminishes over time, who do not maintain their activity throughout the school year, and no efforts are made to, revitalize their efforts, the club's health will definitely deteriorate. And as I've seen as an LTG so far, there are some clubs who are on the brink of becoming inactive just because their members don't participate enough. And so we're going to try to fix that today as we explain to you all of our tips and tricks in our Zoom today. And finally, why we should retain members is because they determine the success of Key Club. It's very easy to have a lot of members without a lot of things being done. No matter how many members that we have or how strong our officer team is, if the members themselves aren't active, think about it, we're not going to get any service projects done. And so as long as the members stay active and encouraged and enthusiastic, we'll be able to make a very lasting impact on community service. And now I'm going to turn it over to Ruth.
Thank you, Zach. There's a thing though, but why are we losing members? Like, what is the reason for it? It happens all the time. A good reason for that is disorganization. People are not getting the information out. We're not always getting like, hey guys, there's a meeting this Tuesday, there's an event this Wednesday. And because of that, we kind of just start losing members. I know that for experience. We should always have like a reoccurring though form of social media, a reminder, or something that officers or people, anyone can have access to. It's not like well, it was on this, but you need a code to get in. No, it should be something that's public. We all can go on it very easily. Something else is a lack of integrating service projects. Because see, some people, we have like maybe the same exact service project every single week. We have a baseball game every Tuesday. That's not exactly fun and uplifting to most people, but what would be is going out to other people or other clubs in your division and like, oh well, this school 20 miles away, they're having this. Okay, well that sounds fun. We should always include other people in our service project so that it becomes fun and diverse. Our school is our school. We know everyone there, but having other people that we don't know and forming other friendships can also have people come in and like, oh, well, y'all are doing that. That sounds really cool. We should also join. And that is how or why we avoid, how to avoid losing members.
Just to touch on what Ruth was describing. Oh, could we go back for just a minute? Thank you. All of the, in step one, in the second bullet point, all of the different levels of communication that you want to have are for different groups of people. So all of us are part of a division, which, for example, is 14A, 14B. And you can see this in front of the names of all the people in the chat. Our division is pretty much specific locations within Florida. And those are people that you definitely want to stay in contact with in order to learn about service projects with other clubs, for instance. Then there's the district, which is all of Florida, and international, which is worldwide, both of which you should be receiving messages from in your email and social media. And finally, Kiwanis, which is a nonprofit and a volunteer organization that's really close with Key Club and often provides a lot of the resources that we need in order for service projects. And so with all of these different groups of people, it's important to stay in contact so that you're close with people on the larger scale, like the Florida district, but also on a smaller scale, like people within your club. So we'll describe a little bit later more about it. But again, communication with all different levels of people is super important.
All right, so we are going to watch a little ad from our service committee, which is another committee within the Florida district. They're going to talk to you about how you can incorporate service projects with membership retention and some ideas that you can incorporate into your school within the next year.
Hi everyone, I'm Coral and I'm with the service committee right now. Overall, the service committee focuses on encouraging service initiatives within clubs and planning service goals for the district. But each of our subcommittees have different tasks that contribute to this. Shanna, what does your subcommittee do? Hey guys, my name is Shanna and I'm with the Service and Major Emphasis Subcommittee. We focus on our Florida District Major Emphasis partners, promoting meaningful and accurately reported service within clubs and helping clubs actually be able to implement these projects. Shayna, what does your subcommittee do?
Hi, my name is Shayna and I'm a part of the Governor's Project Subcommittee. We promote the Governor's Project this year, which is Plan for a Better Future. We strive for clubs to implement service projects that follow the 3 service themes: physical fitness, love, and nutrition. Hey, Savannah, what is your subcommittee doing?
Hi, my name is Savannah, and I'm a part of the International Relations Subcommittee that partners with organizations such as Trick or Treat for UNICEF and the Illuminate Project. We work together to make sure that you guys have the opportunity to make your world a better place. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
All right, so I hope you learned a little bit more about what the service committee does in the Florida district. And if you ever feel like contacting them and getting some service project ideas, you can contact them at servicecommittee@floridakeyclub.org, similar to our membership development email address. And feel free to contact your Lieutenant Governor as well, who will have a lot of different service project ideas in relation to the Governor's Project, international service projects, and really anything that you would need.
Okay, hi everyone, I'm Sarah, I'm from Division 13, and I'm going to be talking to you guys today about proper communication. In retaining members, proper communication is one of the most vital parts of member retainment, yeah. So we suggest that you use conventional and unconventional forms of communication. Those things look like emails or a club website, and more unconventional forms of communication such as social media. Here at the Membership Development Committee, we're big advocates of using things like Remind, Facebook, as well as Instagram. You can post service events or pictures of your service events, as well as updates on Instagram. And we suggest that you take advantage of the Instagram Stories feature. You can do Instagram Lives or Instagram takeovers with your officers. This keeps your members updated, engaged, as well as excited. And then we also suggest that you use a calendar. It can be a Google Calendar or anything that you would prefer. You know your club best, and that keeps your club members, aware of everything that's going on.
And just to elaborate a little bit on how proper communication can be implemented through your officer team and how you can divide up these tasks throughout the course of the year. You can have your president in charge of an email list so you can collect everyone's emails in the beginning of the year. Emails are something that you maybe want to use a little less frequently. Typically in a high school age group, some of us don't check our emails super often. So email can be used for a monthly newsletter or something like that. That will be a recap or an overview of everything that you're going to be doing in the next month. That's something that's general, not super often, but people will still be receiving it. Another thing that you can do is obviously use social media, Instagram Remind. You can divide up the Remind 101 task to maybe your vice president. It's a free app in the App Store. A lot of lieutenant governors use it. A lot of officers use it. And basically what you'll do is have a little code and they will text a number or a little code to 81010. And you'll see this when you download the app. And it will add anyone who joins onto a list. And it's kind of like a group chat, but more so when you send a message, everyone will receive it. So it's a good way to send out reminders. Hey, our event is in a couple days. Or let's say maybe you're at an event and a club member can't locate you. They can send you a quick text through the Remind app and you can get back to them super quickly. Whereas email is a little bit more of a formal process. Remind is really helpful when you want to just give out a quick reminder like, hey, make sure you meet at this spot in the park for our service project, stuff like that. Instagram, I'm a huge advocate of this, and so is the Membership Development Committee. It's a great way to not only advertise your club to maybe just your members, but people in different divisions, people in different schools, so they can get ideas about what it is that you're doing at your school. So I definitely recommend having an introductory post from all your officers, you know, first and last name, what your plans are for the year, what your goals are for your club. You can post that in August before school starts so your members get a little bit of an overview of what your plans are for the next year so they feel like you're prepared to help them in service. Some other things you can do are Instagram takeovers. You will just, you know, give the Instagram username and password to someone else in your club for a day, and you can do a service project takeover. So they'll be taking videos, taking pictures as the service project is going on. You can also host an officer Q&A. People from literally anywhere will be able to join your live and ask you questions about what it is that you do at your club. There are a lot of clubs in the Florida district that are super, super successful at decon with awards and recognition, and even at the international level. And they're just really, really established. And that would be a great way for those types of clubs to help other clubs who are trying to grow in the next year, get the word out. Again, that's something a little bit more informal, but still super informative. You can even record those and keep it on your Instagram so people will be able to refer back to it, download it and send it out via email, include it in a newsletter. So that's another thing that you can think about. As we start to stray away from using Zooms and hybrid platforms, since we're all, or most of us are going to be going to an in-person setting again, you can use these as a form of, you know, if someone's not there that day, they can hop onto the live and you can just have it set up during your meeting. Again, a little less informal than a Zoom, but still communicative. Instagram stories, you can use them as reminders and highlights. Posting about your service projects lets your lieutenant governor know that you are doing something actively. As a lieutenant governor, when I have people tag me on their divisional or on their club Instagrams and tag my divisional Instagram, it just makes me super happy to see that they're doing something and they're including service in their everyday life, especially in the summer. And then lastly, we have a club website up here. You know, this is not super, super essential, but again, if your club is super established and you're thinking about, you know, how can I take our club to the next step? A club website is a great way to start. There are a lot of free website makers out there that can help you set it up. You can include pictures on there, contact information, officer highlights. You can even have a tab about decon on there and how to register and information to show their parents. A lot of these things you can get from your lieutenant governor, but you know, think about how you're going to want to have a lot of new people joining Key Club this year. They maybe don't know who Lieutenant Governor is and what they do. So an officer is going to be a point of reference for them. And if you have a website to send them, they will be more than pleased with that. So yeah, just a little bit about communication and just how really important that is.
Okay, so events are a great way to keep your club together as a family, and they're a great way to retain the members within your club. So you can host big events like the father-daughter dance, which is just having your club host a dance with drinks, snacks, games, etc. Dinner and a show, you can host a talent show within your school or community and serve dinner with the show. My school has done that personally. It was really fun. Um, a festival, you can try any seasonal festival, Christmas, Halloween, maybe Valentine's Day, with food, games, prizes, booths, and more. You can hold some small events, community cleanup. You can host a volunteer cleanup within your community, picking up trash, refurbishing your surroundings, just fixing up everything in your community. Or you can organize an angel tree. You can get your club to adopt local families throughout the holidays and provide presents and other basic necessities. So just try to provide for those people who really need something, who don't really have the money to afford it. So yeah, large events will bring your club and community together. Building a relationship between your club and your community will give your members another reason and motivation to stay involved. And then smaller events within your school will attract more members, and it's a great way to connect to your peers. School events will not only attract members, but it will also help you retain the ones within your clubs.
Also, everyone, just two really quick things I wanted to add to Sierra. She definitely did a good job explaining like the difference between big and small events. But especially with the big events, it's important, that you keep in contact with your lieutenant governors, because they are going to be the ones who are going to help you get multiple members from clubs throughout your area, throughout your division, at your event. It's fun to have these single club events, but also you want to take time and include some other clubs so that you get to know more people and so that you really start to get to know your key club family for what it is. Because at least when I was younger, maybe like a freshman, it seems a lot like my key club was just solely based in my school. But once I started to learn about all these different clubs near me, it was a big eye opener. And so I encourage you to stay in contact with your lieutenant governors. And also, it's really cool if you and some of your other service leaders can brainstorm a theme for your projects. Maybe instead of just having a festival at your school, you base it around one of your favorite TV shows. That'll definitely get a lot of members and a lot of enthusiasm. And as you can see with our Zoom today, we've loosely based it around the show Friends. And I think that by finding a theme that you and some of your friends would really, really enjoy would not only get you all excited, but it'll definitely get a lot more members.
Yeah, so for one of the events that really impacted me and really helped me was that one of the Kiwanis clubs in my area held a kind of a banquet for people who are receiving scholarships from your Kiwanis club. And a lot of key clubbers went and helped out. And it was kind of a dinner and a show, like Sierra said. And it was just a great way to, first of all, promote the scholarships, which are a really essential part in keeping people also involved with scholarships. And it really honored them. And it was just a really fun event that just kind of highlighted service and scholarship.
And along those same lines, just as Marcel said, one of the service events that really touched my heart and I truly genuinely enjoyed was with our partnering Kiwanis Club. We did a foster care birthday party, and it was for all children in foster care in our area, and it was themed as Alice in Wonderland. So we set it up. It was a whole thing. We had our whole division involved, and everybody got to dress up as the characters, and just seeing the genuine joy and happiness that all of these little kids had at this event that you got to take part of and be support each other, and you get to meet other people from your division as well. So just big event ideas like that, working with your Kiwanis and other clubs in your division kept me as well as my other club members super engaged and super excited about Key Club.
Yeah, and you can also draw your ideas and your club events to your country. So I know I'm from the Cayman Islands, and one of my clubs did a Heritage Day, and they taught especially lower school students more about their about the country, national dishes, all kinds of things, and they raised money and they donated it to a local charity. So anything you can teach students, I know things when you're learning something, it makes it more fun. So even if you can draw back to teaching or even something about your country, that's really interesting.
Yeah, something that we have done personally is that we did a food drive on Day of Caring. And I really liked it because it was about 25, 30 kids who were all out there in the hot sun, but they were all happy doing it because we were giving out food packages to all these families in need. And everyone had a smile on their face. Maybe it could have been the donuts, but everyone there was really happy. And just something that people should do is definitely go out there with a group and give out to the community, because I know the community loves it and they were so thankful and they were so happy for us. And they really were just like, thank you. We really needed it.
And also, y'all, just one more event that I wanted to share was, as hopefully some of you and the participants have heard about, yesterday I hosted the very first Connect for a Cure fundraiser, which was this massive Connect 4 tournament at my school gym. It took a really long time to prepare, but sort of like what Sarah was talking about earlier, with the best communication that we can do, I was able to secure donations from the Kiwanis Foundation here in Tampa. I was also able to get in contact with a few small news agencies and my church to spread the word about this tournament. And yesterday, to my surprise, we got like 100-something people there, which was definitely a big event. But it was absolutely amazing to see everybody coming together, playing this game for about 2 hours. There was this huge celebration at the end, and we raised thousands of dollars for the Cancer Center. And I think that as long as you stay in contact with your LTGs and with Kiwanis, these really big events are going to be possible throughout the year. And so again, I just encourage you to always be in communication with all these people, because this will ensure that these big projects that you want to put on actually come to fruition.
A service project that I did at my home club that I thought really, really helps my local community was actually during the beginning of the school year. So this is something you guys can transfer over and do within the next 2 months. It's called Backpacks for Hope, and you can adjust the name in really any way that you see fit. But what we did was put together beginning of the school year backpacks for kids who are in need, and we dropped them off at a local foster care home and a place near where I live called Metropolitan Ministries, which I'm sure is a lot of you can relate to that. There are a lot of locations that you can donate things to. And, we put pencils in there, paper, folders, binders, just keeping in mind that there are people out there who are really dedicated to education and learning in school, but we also have to keep in mind that some of those same people just don't have the funds to go out and buy new school supplies every year. So helping in that way is a great way to affect your community. And I highly encourage you all to look into this and do it within the next month or two. A lot of people will appreciate it as school supply lists start to come out. This is something that you can put together pretty quickly. And, don't feel like you need to buy really expensive items. There are a lot of cheaper resources that you can put together because anything is really appreciated. So you can organize this by just gathering your club at a local park or community center and just putting everything together. And I guarantee that you will really be helping your community in that way.
And just to add on to what Yasmin was saying, we don't want you to forget about like recurring smaller events that can happen within your own school. My home club does weekly homeless. We make sandwiches, peanut butter sandwiches for the homeless shelter in our area. And sorry about that, but we make weekly we make sandwiches for the homeless in our area, and that keeps members coming back. It's hours that they can rely on, and it keeps them engaged and involved. And it's just something that they can keep coming back to. And it creates a wonderful environment for us all to get to see each other at the end of the week. We always do it on a Friday, and it really keeps us involved.
Absolutely. So now that we've all kind of shared some service project ideas that we've done and we really see that has affected our community, we're going to ask you all to share a service project that you did in your community or your school or with your lieutenant governor that you really, really loved and you thought that anyone on this Zoom could use and anyone across the district could really incorporate into their school. So feel free to unmute, share your name and your division and just the service project that you loved and why you think it's a great thing to incorporate. And you can unmute or put it in the chat, whatever you feel comfortable with.
I can start. I'll say that in my home club, we work with a local well, before COVID hit, we used to work with a local homeless shelter. We did it like once a month, and I think it was the second Tuesday of each month. And we would go out to a homeless shelter and help prepare food for the residents.
Yeah, that's a lovely idea. And anyone else on Zoom, feel free to share, adults, if there's anything that you've done in your career, Key Club and Kiwanis and CKI that you thought was super impactful. Feel free to share that. I know a lot of us would appreciate the ideas as the beginning of the school year comes up.
Something that we try to continually have going in our Key Clubs and that we got to do last winter, despite COVID, was we get to do clothing drives and everything, which I feel like are something, even like clothing drives, food drives, you can have them for hygiene products and stuff like that. And it's something that's pretty easy and smaller to do within your school, and you can donate to local shelters who need it and stuff like that. But it's something that keeps the members involved. You get to all get together and sort through the clothes, get everything together, figure out where it's going to be allocated based on what clothing items you have and stuff like that. And it just keeps people involved.
Another big thing my school did, we did canned food drives. We also did shoe drives. So we were able to collect thousands of pairs of shoes. We were also able to collect, I want to say it was over 2,000 canned foods products. So this coming year, we're hopeful to have at least 2 product drives and hopefully 4 food product drives. And we donate those to local food shelters. There are some in Tampa that always collect. And there's always the Dawn Center and plenty of other areas. And we always try to target the centers that don't just try to upsell and make a profit. We target those that really give back to the community.
So I see a lot of ideas in the chat. So I'll go ahead and read off a couple of those because they are wonderful. So I see Jaden shares that there is a church in his local area that does food distribution every month with Prince of Peace. That's lovely. I see a recurring theme of distribution of food and goods and items. Division 27B, Victoria says, my club in North Miami Beach Senior High School did a canal cleanup, and we try to do it as often as possible. We are doing our best to plan a beach cleanup. Beach cleanups are a wonderful idea. Division 14A and 14B regularly do those because we're so close to the beach, but we all live in Florida, so there's definitely a local beach near you that you can get your club out to and start incorporating those ideas. We see a couple more here. Let's see. Jennifer says, we put together our appreciation bags for the local sheriff's department and included snacks and bottled water. We also did large appreciation baskets, such as clothes, for the local fire department. We filled it with snacks, drinks, hand sanitizer, mints, and gum. That is a wonderful service project. That's really something that you can work on for a long period of time and work with all of your club to put together. So never feel like there are any finance blockages that you can run into. You can all incorporate something to just put something together for your community. Cassidy from 15A says, this past year, our club participated in Walls of Love, which is where we made small care packages with different necessities and put them on a wall or a fence where anyone needed could take some. Wow, that's lovely. Let's see. And then last we have here, Jacob Friedman from Division 7 says, although it is still an ongoing service project, my club created a reading room to help students facing socioeconomic challenges. The books range from test prep to novels to those for reference. Wow. You mentioned test prep. That is a wonderful idea. A lot of Key Clubbers are preparing for different tests like the SAT/ACT, and just having a group where you can focus on giving everyone a space to have resources and get the score that they desire on those tests is really, really wonderful. Let's see, fellow Lieutenant Governor Ahmed El-Deeb shares, at my school, we do local monthly beach cleanups. It's an easy, fun service project that gets a lot of members to participate. It's super important to keep our beaches and aquatic life safe. It's always memorable for the members a part of our club because it's a chance to bond while completing service. Absolutely. So, tying it into membership retention, if you have a service project like a beach cleanup, you're not only helping your community, but you're just bonding with members of your club, which is ultimately what keeps people coming back to Key Club every year. So keep that in mind as you're doing service projects. You want to help your community, but also make it something that your members can enjoy, because at the end of the day, they're dedicating their time to be there. Alexandria from Division 18 says, during November/December, our club helped Toys with Tots collect and sort package gifts for families. It is a good project for people who love shopping, but you don't have to pay for it. Yeah, that's lovely. So I really thank you all for sharing your service project ideas. If you get any more throughout the course of the presentation, please drop it in the chat. Don't be shy. These are all really, really good ideas. And at the end of the day, these events are what Key Club is all about. We are here for service. We want to serve our communities, and you want to build your club off of that, especially with membership retention. You want to keep incorporating these big events or small events. And, advice that I give my local clubs, depending on where you are on the status of just your club is in member numbers, you can have events. You can have 2 events a month, 1 event a month. If you're feeling really strong, you can do 3 events a month. I know a lot of schools, and actually Division 14C, do like 5 events a month, but it just depends on where you feel that you are. All right, so those are really great ideas. I would, feel free to write those down. I'll definitely add them in the email with all the resources that we send out so you guys can refer to it.
Reach out to retain. So this is super important, and it will really help you out. The key, pun intended, to being successful is reaching out for help. Ask other Key clubs or service clubs for attainment ideas. You can reach out to other clubs through social media, such as Instagram. Yeah, you could even just send them a message through Instagram. It could really be, it just help how to get with other service clubs. It doesn't have to be just a Key club. It could be an honor society or any type of service club. Or you could just ask them in person. That's a really good idea too. Reach out to your lieutenant governor for advice and resources. So this is super important. I really love it when a club member or an officer comes up to me and they ask me for help, because I'm always happy to help. And so are all the other amazing lieutenant governors. If you want to contact their lieutenant governor, your lieutenant governor, sorry, their email is 2122division, and then you insert your division number at floridakeyclub.org. They all really respond, and they will all really help you out. Another way to do it is come up to them at a DCM. That is what DCMs are for, or at least one of the major purposes. Or you can at least send them a message on their Instagram account if they have one, which most of them do. You can work with your Kiwanis clubs to collaborate on service projects. There's a lot of ways where you can contact Kiwanis clubs. Most clubs have a sponsoring Kiwanis club, which is the one that they do the most work with. You can ask your faculty advisor or your Kiwanis advisor if you have one of those. There's a lot of really good ideas, and I know as adults they may seem kind of scary, but they're the nicest people, and they will always be there to help. Key clubbers, they always get really excited when they see Key clubbers either at their meetings or being enthusiastic on working with service projects. And another tip that I like to do is when you work with the Kiwanis club and they either give you a donation or they help you and you collaborate on a service project, just go and to a dollar store and buy thank you cards and send them an in-person thank you card through the mail. A lot of them are traditional people, so they're really going to appreciate an in-person tangible thank you card, and a lot of them will keep it as a memory. So as part of the Kiwanis family, there are many people and resources that empower you to find innovative ways to retain members. And if anybody that is on the meeting wants to unmute or type in the chat one of the ways that they reach out to retain, that would be fine.
I just wanted to mention, y'all, Kiwanis is so important. Kiwanis is this huge volunteer organization made up of multiple leaders and adults throughout Florida. And you can think of them as pretty much just a giant support group of Key Club. They have, at least with me, and I know with a bunch of lieutenant governors, helped more than you can imagine with any event you might think of. With my tournament yesterday, we had to somehow think of a way to get almost like 40 boards, Connect 4 boards, to get to the gym and be purchased and out for everybody to play. And at first, I was talking with one of my advisors at my school. It turns out that we would have had to spend almost $300 on boards. And so while we were freaking out with that, somebody recommended for me to reach out to Kiwanis. And so I ended up doing that. And Kiwanis was very happy to supply us with a donation, which covered all of the boards. And so this is just one example of a way that Kiwanis is always here to serve you and your clubs. And never think that you're out of place asking Kiwanis for help, because that is literally all these people's jobs. Their job is to help you with monetary or service requests. And so I can't stress it enough. If you haven't met your Kiwanis advisor, please consider doing so. These people have signed up to help you, and they're just waiting for your requests. So again, Kiwanis is so important for awesome service projects and a great way to make sure that your members want to stay.
Yeah, Kiwanis is amazing for not only resources, but also for advice. I know I'm pretty close with the Kiwanis LTG, and I'm pretty close with all the Kiwanians of my division, because they are so amazing and they will always be there for you. And they have a lot of advice. They're adults. They've kind of been in this service thing for a while now, so they're always an amazing resource. And so is your lieutenant governor. Please contact them and other Key Clubs.
Absolutely. And if you're a little confused on how to reach out to your local Kiwanis club, or maybe you don't even think your school is adopted by a local Kiwanis club, I know a couple of schools in my division had that issue. Your lieutenant governor is going to be your main resource. Reach out to them. They can help you get adopted by a local Kiwanis club, give you the contact information for a Kiwanis club. So if you're ever confused on that, or you're looking for support, definitely reach out to them. And another way that you can use a Kiwanis support is when DCON comes around. We want everyone to attend DCON. We want everyone to be there. So if you need some support in getting there or transportation for your school, make sure that you contact them and they can help you out with that. Does anyone have anything they can share, any experiences with Kiwanis that they would like to talk about? All right, well then on that note, we are going to move on. We're going to do a quick exit ticket. This is where you're going to kind of share your feedback for this year. And as you can see, Sarah dropped the link in the chat. So, just share what you like, share what you didn't like. It's completely anonymous, so you don't have to worry about, don't worry about anything. Just be honest. All the feedback helps. If you attended our last one, you already filled this out. But please fill it out again, because it's going to be helping us for our next episode on July 26th. And a lot of the feedback that you guys gave us in our last exit ticket really helped us with our presentation this time. We updated the PowerPoint, we added more information, we elaborated, gave you examples. So if there's anything that you felt like was missing this time, please feel free to mention it. And, let us know how you liked it, anything that you feel that could be added. We're hoping that we're going to be able to have another series towards the end of the year, just to help you guys out again for the next school year. So any advice that you share will be super, super helpful. As you're filling this exit ticket out, this will be the time that we will take any questions. So from now until 3 o'clock, please feel free to ask any questions about anything that we went over, or just any general questions that you have about the upcoming service year. This will be the time to ask.
Yeah, if y'all had any questions about maybe Kiwanis, which I was emphasizing, or who your lieutenant governor is, or what is the international board, or what does it mean to be a club officer? Any question is welcome here. We are all staying here just to listen to your questions. So please feel free to unmute or put in the chat anything you might be wondering.
Yeah, don't be shy to ask questions. I know that like I can be shy sometimes when I ask questions, but feel free to do it. We are not going to judge no matter what kind of question you ask, and we'll always be here to help you. So feel free to do so, to ask a question.
So Ruth, it looks like actually there is a question for you in the chat. It says, Ruth, what is it like being an LTG for Division 15B?
I love it, honestly. And I know everyone else here loves it. It can be a lot, but it's also something that I have become like very grown to. Like I almost become like a child to me that I am very, very like, this is mine. I'm going to take care of it and I'm going to make it grow. And I know for any of you who want to become an LTG, please do it. Like we love service, we love helping people, and we just want to be there for you guys. And we just want to grow Key Club, honestly. And anyone else wants what it's like being LTG, please respond.
LTG, at least for me, has definitely been a big wake-up call for a lot of the things that I needed to catch up on. One of the things that I learned for sure was that communication is of top priority. As LTGs, we typically send maybe 3 or 4 emails / remind messages a day at least to people. And, you know, before becoming an LTG in school, I would often get, you know, maybe a message from a teacher that I'll just kind of brush off and say, I'll respond tomorrow. But as LTG, we really learned to be prompt with our messages. And that was definitely something that I learned.
Yeah, being lieutenant governor has been an amazing experience, especially for me being a younger lieutenant governor, and my division being a smaller division that has been struggling for the past year. There are some challenging moments, but I think when I see moments of progress, it just gives me so much more energy to keep going forward. And when we see the service projects we do and the leadership and the character building that we provide for a lot of our members, it just inspires me to keep going and just face those challenges head on.
Yeah, so I really thank you all for coming today. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. There are a lot of people on here who will be of assistance to you. We have lieutenant governors, adults, our governor is on this call. So please ask any questions that you have about the upcoming service year. This is just a great informal way to ask questions, get your answers, and not have to worry about, you know, who do I contact for this question? This is just a great space to ask any questions you have right now. If you don't have any questions, please feel free. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Really, we all thank you for coming. And yeah, ask any questions you may have. I'm just checking the chat here to see if there's anything. But yeah, remember, if you have any questions in the future, contact us. We are a membership committee at floridakeyclub.org. And we will get you guys all this information via email, all the service project ideas, the PowerPoint. So thank you all for coming.
It looks like somebody asked a question about how to start a Key Club. That's a very, very good question that I've actually gotten a few times before, because there are a few clubs near me or a few schools who might want a Key Club to get started. And I'd say the very first thing is to find a faculty advisor. This is a very fancy word for a person who is an adult, maybe a teacher or a coach, somebody that you know you can trust with helping you start the Key Club process. Now, this, at least for me, was my religion teacher. He became faculty advisor 2 years ago, and ever since then, he's been making sure that all of our forms are up to date, that new board members are elected. So again, find a person you can trust that's an adult and ask them if they'd like to be a faculty advisor. Next thing that I'd like you to do, or if you have time to do so beforehand, is to look at the Florida Key Club website. We have a lot of resources there for you under a drop-down menu that will describe the club chartering process, how to found a club, how to create a club. All of those things in detail are laid out on our website. There's a step-by-step guide of what you need. All the official paperwork is there. And then finally, again, if you have any questions and whenever you get the chance, reach out to your lieutenant governor. They are directly responsible for chartering new clubs and helping you with that. So again, lieutenant governor contact is important. Finding a faculty advisor is important, and checking our website if you want to create a club. Thank you for your question.
Yeah, and just to add on to Zach's response, which was really good. Thank you, Zach. Just having strong Kiwanis support is really important. So try to find a sponsoring Kiwanis club. They will help you out and they will be there for you every step of the way. And then the other thing is just getting members and people at your high school excited. So if you do want to get members, just go ask your friends, hey, do you want to be part of this really cool club? It's called Key Club. You do a lot of service and we have a lot of fun. And word of mouth has always worked. It's kind of old fashioned, but it is effective, and Kiwanis support is really important.
Yeah, and while you're trying to start up your club, use social media as a really, really helpful tool. Make an interest flyer for your club. Just, put out a link that will collect people's names, emails, phone numbers, and just, they'll be straight into your Key Club because it's brand new. And as your Key Club grows over the years, you can make applications or that sort of process. But for now, you really want to focus on getting the word out there that there is going to be a Key Club at your school. So create an Instagram with your name of your school and just incorporate Key Club in there. Make a post about how you're starting a club and just go around and, follow people that go to your school, follow the different accounts that are associated to your school. So maybe your school's cheer team, your school's basketball team, and you'll get people to follow you and fill out that interest form that way. So I really, really encourage social media while you're trying to build a club from scratch. Getting those people through social media will, they'll have interest in your club, and you can always repost things from the Florida district, from different divisional accounts, and those resources are already there for you, so just use them.
I had a question. So I joined Key Club just last year, and this coming up year, I got elected as president. So I was wanting to know, what can I personally do to be a good president for my club?
That is a wonderful question. First, congratulations on being president. You will have a wonderful time working with your Key Club at your school. I really encourage the president's job to be a streamlined communication with your members. So what does that mean? Obviously, you want to incorporate communicating with your other officers. So first step, create a group chat with all of your officers. Use that as a space for you all to discuss upcoming service projects. Hey, we're going to have a meeting today, things like that. The next step would be to host at least monthly meetings with your officer team, if not more often. You'll be in charge of creating an agenda for this meeting and kind of running the meeting and talking about what needs to happen. You can host this meeting through group FaceTime, WhatsApp, Zoom, anything that's convenient for you. You want to plan out at least one service project a month. If you can fit in more, definitely do it. But if you are starting out and you are, new to this job, I would suggest plan one service project a month, big or small, whatever you feel like and whatever you think is best for your club members, and focus on that for that meeting. So you're going to plan out the event. You're going to, designate the webmaster or the editor to create a flyer, the vice president to communicate the link to RSVP for the event through Remind and social media. You want to put the RSVP for the event on your Instagram account. So post the flyer, put the link for the RSVP in your Instagram bio. Things like that will really help you be a really good president for your club. And after you've planned that service project, you want to communicate with your members a lot about, hey, our service project's coming up. Make sure to attend. You'll get service hours. We'll be helping the community. Things like that will really, really help you be successful in the next year. I know a lot of my other lieutenant governors on here have been some sort of an officer at their school. So all of you feel free to share some advice on being president.
Make sure you're nice and like really open. Because I know sometimes they're like, oh, well, they're president. They must be busy. They must have like 20,000 things going on at the same time. So make sure everyone knows that you can be there for them. And like, not only like as a friend, as an officer, but you make sure you're just open and everyone can like, oh, well, I know her. She's really nice. She always talks to me. I see her in the hallway. She always says hi. So always have like a smiling face and always be there for your members and officers.
Also, I just have a question. I guess I'd like to throw back at you. Are you really close with your lieutenant governor yet?
Yeah, I actually am. She was the vice president last year, and she was going to be president this year, but then she became lieutenant governor. So then I got bumped up from VP to president. So yeah, I am close with her.
Awesome. Well, she's definitely going to be a great resource as well. I'm glad that you have contact with her. She probably knows your club a little bit better than we do because she's directly responsible for a few of the clubs in your area. And so maybe ask her for a list of some of the issues with your club right now and how they can be resolved. Because as president, you are basically responsible for that club specifically. And so again, contact with your LTG is so important. And I'm glad that you've already done so. Just make sure that you ask, what has my club been going through lately in comparison to other clubs? Or how has my club done in the past? Or do you have any advice on what my faculty advisor should know? Things like that. Your LTG would be more than happy to answer, and she's going to be a great resource.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. So we're getting close to 3 o'clock here. Feel free to ask any more questions. I'm just going to go ahead and stop the recording now and stop sharing, but please feel free to stick around. We'll be here and answer any questions you may have.